All right, glad to have you back. You're still watching Newsnight here on our right. This is Dr. Amadi, Director at Abuja School of Social and Political Thought, joins me in the studio for more on the PDP convention that is holding. Glad to have you join me, Dr. Sam Amadi.
Thank you.
Just listened to me discuss with former Governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamito, and I told him that the convention is going on, which of course it is.
Factual.
But he says there is no convention.
Well, look, I think the complication arises from also how the courts have behaved, There are two courts saying different things. When Omotosho gave his, don't go, you can't do this. The court in Oyo State said you can do it, and they're all high courts. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's federal or state. And for now, those are valid orders. So whether at the appeal you cancel one and say this is right, wrong, those are for now academic. Yeah. There's no clearance. Nobody has said which is wrong. So in a sense, this convention has legal authorization, because if I recall well, the late decision that came in on Friday was 4. Yeah. Was 4. The last
I didn't remind him.
The last decision was 4. So you can't say it's not legal, because unfortunately, we are now where courts are the ones authorizing actions. And that's really the problem with this process, or the way. The electoral system is not designed for courts to decide action. Because, and I've argued this for like 4 years, that INEC's lack of understanding of administrative rules and regulatory process is a problem. Those who decide party leadership, 2 actors, the party itself, and then the regulator. The court only comes in to review regulatory decisions. So the error, if I was INEC chairman, I would be making a determination of facts. So if A and B filed to me, let's say for example the Labour Party, where there are people who say, it's Nanadi Usman, it's INEC who should bring the whole facts together. I say, who followed the right procedure? And INEC will make a determination. So it's reversed. INEC people will wait, tie themselves and say they're waiting for court. Court has no business. Court's power of judicial review is to review action by those who are statutory regulator. It's equivalent of a bank. And not to determine what party is doing. And then the regulators key in. No. It's the other way around. Your judicial review is an attempt by the court to review decision makers. So first, the party is this decider. And they file into the regulator, INEC. INEC reviews the facts, That's why I say INEC is a quasi-judicial institution, because INEC has to establish who is the proper chairman of a party. The chairman of INEC, presently constituted today, is a lawyer. He's a senior lawyer. Interestingly, many Nigerian senior advocates I've engaged with are a little bit low on understanding administrative procedure. I mean, because we've not done a lot of regulatory work as a country. We are at the elementary level. By the way, NEC, look at the electricity regulation. We just started it. So we don't understand the regulatory law. We don't understand public sector law. So I can speak from somebody who has a PhD in this, and somebody who has had 5 years of extensive work as a regulator. The proper procedure, INEC is a finder of facts. And INEC acts like if it's a court. Because if the law says INEC is a regulator of party, INEC regulates parties. So when you have a problem, first, parties have constitution. INEC guidelines should guide the development of party constitution. That's why INEC regulates. And that's why INEC has not done well. They've not regulated parties. So when the parties elect their people, they fight to INEC. They say, these are our new. So INEC would have had their people on ground, review the document, and say, okay, these guys follow the rules. It's for the court. If you're aggrieved, you go to the court. The court will not say, well, INEC did right or wrong. And that's why typically the judicial approach is to defer to INEC. The courts don't sit and, the Nigerian judiciary judges lack. But now INEC is, I'm not cutting you short, you will continue. INEC is deferring to the courts. INEC would tell you, we can't say A or B. So they wait for the last order. Order comes, go. They go to the airport. Order comes, don't go. They return back to their base. That's not how administrative rules, regulatory process are discovered. INEC is the one who acts. When you go to the court will look at the facts and say, we defer to INEC. And what the principle establishes, once INEC acts reasonably, rationally, legally, the court defers to them and says, well, INEC has acted, and I think it's reasonable, so foreclose. So if INEC says it's not you, after due process, then you have to do a lot of work to convince the court that INEC was wrong. So in the sense, we're not in a theater of the unknown uncertainty, where lawyers are just run up and down the staircase collecting order here and there. Wike collects his own because he is entrenched in federal Abuja. Then the other guy flips to the state where he has control. So all these are induced order. So if you sit back after this theater of the absurd, you say, what's going on here? These guys are just buying up judgment. Because why should courts find themselves issuing very contradictory decisions on very simple matters? There's a party, there's a chairman, there's a board of BOT. Now, look, the other guys in Ibadan, in my own factual assessment, if I was to decide, they are the better guys. I tell you why. The BOT that Mwabara chairs has been there for over 3 years. Yeah. Suddenly you construct a new BOT in an office of APC office. Factually, it can't just happen that way. So oftentimes, the facts, the INEC, the courts are not thinking through the courts, the facts. This is a BOT. You have NWC, you have NEC. And the Supreme Court says, rightly too, that we don't decide leadership of
I was going to come to that because, again, the PDP, who are holding their convention in Ibadan, says that according to the ruling of the Supreme Court, courts don't have the right to interfere in party processes.
That's a wrong way of reading it.
Okay.
The right way is this. And the Supreme Court sometimes causes problems because the Supreme Court is usually very poorly theorized decisions. They don't think through it and communicate it well. It's wrong to say, oh, the party got to get away. That's not true. The constitutional power of judicial review, it goes through the whole length. So this is the proper position. The courts, and the Speaker has said that before, writing from Honora case, the court does not select leadership for the party. It's a political decision. But what the court does is to watch and make sure the parties follow their rules and make their decisions. They chose those rules. So the court can still look at, if somebody goes to the court and say, the wrong process, the court has the right to look at it. So the court in a motor show has the right to look at the matter. But the court's approach would be to say, what's the process of making a decision internally? After that, who is the next place? The regulator, not the court. The court waits to see what the regulator says, and the court reviews that. So if I was a judge, I would be keen to say, okay, you guys are quarreling over leadership. Just like if there are two boards in a bank, say, oh, we are the board of directors. They go to the central bank. The central bank makes that finding. The central bank says, change the board, this is the board. You can go to the court and say, CBN didn't do what is right. Actually, it should be this. So the point is this. The way the courts look at this matter is they create the impression that there's no way to know the process except courts intervene by issuing order. The party exists. Up until 2-3 weeks ago, there was a party. Up until 2-3 weeks ago, there was a BOT, there was NWC. I mean, optics, we see Anyanwu and
Mohammed,
the guy who is the
new interim chairman.
The chairman who became chairman now. They've been working as chairman and secretary and going on back. Then something must have happened in a few days. So if I was looking at the facts as they have happened, I would say, it looks to me that in Ibadan is where the party, as party, institutionally, is there. It looks to me as there are some questions of people who are not happy with that outcome who are not there. So it's not for the INEC to say, INEC should be there on everywhere. INEC will not come back at home and make a decision and say, look, after review of this process, this is INEC's decision. Because INEC, look, in the theory of judicial deference, and the Supreme Court, the US Supreme Court was very clear. We're not experts. INEC is the guy who has the
data,
the ground zero
of each part
of everything. The courts are off there. So the courts look at the law. And the first one asked themselves that, did INEC make the right decision? If they did, the court says, you know what?
All right.
We defer. Yeah.
Before I let you go, two issues, from what I've understood, as it is today, the convention stands right.
It seems to me that's the right point.
Good. Yeah. Okay. It looks like some could say that PDP has woken up, not just with conducting their convention, but the expulsion of course, you know, of the FCT minister and about how many others, Ayof Ayoshe and some others. And some have argued that this should have been done long ago, but somebody said it's better to be late
Then never.
Than never. Okay. So what do you make of that decision?
First, I would think that there must be a rule process for terminating membership for a party constitutionally. I mean, it can't be just happenstance. And again, I heard Olobade George say, these guys took the party to court. I think generally, most parties abhor people taking the party to court. You're supposed to exhaust internal processes and all that. So it's for them to decide whether what Wike and others are alleged to have done constitute grievous offense. If they do and they've triggered their process, and again, the convention is the highest decision-making organ of the party, followed by the NEC, BOT is the conscience of the party, the NEC, the NWC, and then that one. So if this is a properly constituted NEC convention, as I said, the last order from the court seemed to say so. Then, if they take action, due process action, and they expel these members, that it has legal validity. That the problem is that, and again, if you look at these people what they say to have expelled, the problem with this party development since 2023 is that I don't understand how party leaders can deliberately be working against their party for too long. I mean, you can't be the leader of the party and you're holding meeting in APC facilities, and anybody who is objective will say, convince me that these guys are actually in this party. So it would be nice for them to be in the same place, debate and quarrel over these issues. Maybe at the convention, somebody says no, appeal to BOT, BOT says no, you can go to NEC, INEC, go to court. Members can go to court and sue, but it shouldn't be that, you guys seem to be working against the party. So yes, everyone is fighting for political interests. Makinde is fighting for political interests. Wike is for political interests. But if I was a PDP member and looking at the structure, I would say that much of the institutional guys are on this in the battle. And like I say, the BOT has been acting, Josephine Anene, while these guys have been there for the past 5 days. You can't just tell me that in the last 2 weeks, they were changed.
And there's a process anyway for getting a BOT.
That's really, exactly. That doesn't. So the weight of evidence. But ultimately, the Court of Appeal and Supreme Court will go back to look at it. They are building themselves up to a legal. And right now, it's not clear who will come top. For now, I think the guys in the battle have,
It would be interesting with what you have said to have INEC, to debrief them on what you have said and see what they will say.
They should decide themselves in the system more strongly.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Amadi, there on the PDP crisis. Thank you for being here. Always interesting discussing with you.
Thank you.